Welcome to Comicstorian Witness Protection.
What's up?
Welcome to Comics Experiment, the show right here at the Comicstorian YouTube channel where we sit down and talk about some things involved in the world of comic books, TVs, movies, video games. We either look at the philosophy of it, we discuss if we liked it or disliked it, we decide to come up with our own versions of stories, or we look at the fandom as a whole and decide if it was good or bad or what. That's today's episode. We're going to be discussing, do fandoms sometimes ruin properties? In particular, was WandaVision ruined by the fans? This show is filmed every Thursday at the Comicstorian Podcast Network, twitch.tv/Comicstorian, at about 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. Roundabouts that figure, yeah. And it's brought to you by G Fuel, where you can use the code COMICS at checkout to get 10% off of your order. I'm trying to think because we have a deal going on this month and I forget when it is. But you can either get 10 or 30% off your order depending on when this episode goes live. I think it's 30% during the time of this. Just, you know what? Go buy a bunch of G Fuel, punch it in, let us know.
It's either going to cost you all your money or be absolutely free or somewhere in between there.
Use comics at checkout to save money.
There you go.
Use comics at checkout to save dollar bills. Or not dollar bills.
Dollar bills? Yeah. Okay. No. All right. Let's keep going.
You can also support this show by going to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where we upload unedited versions of this podcast. You get all the weird stuff, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. You get all the fun stuff, and you get to vote on content that is coming out on our channel, be it a complete story that Andy has to work on, or a topic that Dan and I have to flesh out here on the podcast, or what Andy's going to do to comic books next. What is the experiment this week?
That sounded way inappropriate.
That was the point.
That's what he's going to do to the comics. Will you get a paper cut if you do that?
Oh, God.
We'll find out.
Yes. I'm into it, though. I'm into it.
Also, on our Patreon, you can ask us questions and find out a little bit more about us with comics and outside of comics.
Yep.
We do great stuff.
That's the stuff we do here at the Comics Experiment.
Oh,
your hosts of today are Andy Boner, Dan Boner, and Ben Boner.
Boner. He should have been like, it's pronounced Bonner.
It's Boner. Okay.
Boner, it's French. I have a wee boner.
God. Oh, I love... Okay.
This is Richard Boner.
All right, so today's topic is, at the end of the day, we're not really going to talk too much about WandaVision itself, as in like the actual opinions of the general episodes, but more about what happened with the fandom. Overall, I liked WandaVision. I thought it was a great story about Wanda's trauma and how she got through it.
But it was Mephisto all along.
Actually, can we talk real quick about how it wasn't Agatha all along? It actually was Wanda all along, and that song lied to us.
The song lied to us, yeah.
What you learned was that Agatha was there all along,
but she had nothing to do with it.
She had nothing to do with it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, her husband Ralph Boner. I mean,
it's Bonner.
So basically, the show in general has gotten critical acclaim. In general, people have been enjoying it.
Yes.
But there is a subsection of the fandom that is super mad and feels this entire show is a waste and no one should bother watching it because the theories didn't come true.
And they're wrong.
Now, WandaVision is not the first time that this
betrayed.
became a thing. I do feel WandaVision went a little bit heavier into the theories than anything prior.
I will say they didn't help themselves.
No.
In that, because a lot of the actors and creators and whatnot were like leaning into the theories.
Yes.
Which did not help.
Yeah.
Well, like Paul Bettany.
Exactly. He just dug himself into a Twitter hole.
Yeah, what's this whole story on that, Andy?
He tweeted that like he had tweeted out that he was working with an actor that everybody would be surprised about and he had wanted to work with for decades. Well, it turns out it was him when he came back as White Vision. And he tweeted it as a joke and apparently just couldn't get out of it. He's like, I just kept digging a hole. And he's like, it was just supposed to be a joke. And it went too far.
See, I think that was a problem like you were saying.
Didn't he say, like, we have got great chemistry?
No actor
has had this kind of chemistry.
Nobody's guessed this cameo.
I've been wanting to work with him for years.
Yeah.
But they definitely left the door open a little too much for theories and plot twists and stuff like that, both in the show and out of the show. Because each episode, you're like, oh my God, it could be this, it could be this.
Well,
it could
and
be
a
this.
lot of the
and the next one,
plot,
God, it could be this.
took references from comics that like Mephisto and stuff did show up in.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that people would be like, oh, Mephisto's going to show up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was in, like even Evan Peters. Let's just kick. That was the first big what is going on.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Before
And everyone
that,
was like, the X-Men. Nope. Ralph Bonner.
before the Evan Peters situation, it was like we had theories, but people weren't riding into the theories. It's when he showed up.
It got real. Yeah. It got real
If you
strong,
look at the director, they apparently just wanted to have fun with it.
They were like, it was a fun. We thought it'd be fun.
Yeah,
It'd be a
the
cool
reasoning
idea.
behind it was they wanted there to be someone on the show that would be Quicksilver. I read this article, the actual reasoning behind that. They wanted it to not be Aaron Taylor, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Because they wanted you to see that Wanda was so lost in her own head, she would believe anyone to be her brother. That was the idea behind it. Then they said, can we get Evan Peters?
Because it would be fun. It would like it would be great for the fans to see the other Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Nope. Bad idea.
It was a terrible idea.
No.
This is
no, it was a great idea that did not pan out.
No,
them,
and that's the problem though, because every week was the latest WandaVision theory, and even me, Sal, you, and Dylan on our new channel, Absolutely Marvel and DC, we have theory videos, and I will say, and you can vouch. Every episode I said, I'm pretty sure it's just going to end with none of these coming true.
Yep.
But wouldn't these be epic if it was actually...
That's the problem with theories. Theories are great because, like, if everybody was like, probably none of this will work out, but wouldn't it be cool if...
Yeah.
And the problem is everybody gets into, that didn't work out. It's not good at all because it wasn't as good as my theory.
Right. There's a lot of people that are really upset because they didn't introduce the X-Men. But if you think back to the investor meeting, Kevin Feige said... We have no plans to introduce the X-Men anytime
and
soon.
I've said this, everybody is begging for someone to say mutant in the MCU at this point.
I think it's going to be the next Avengers Assemble. It's gonna,
I honestly, I just think...
What should we call it?
I just think...
Mysteries?
I just feel like Bucky during their show should just be like, what are these things like I don't know, like mutants? And Falcon go, nah, that's stupid.
I mean, that's exactly what they would do.
That's
because
true,
they do that every time.
Now, like even I do feel the show did have a few wasted opportunities. I will say that.
Sure, yeah, I mean, but you could say that about
Hayward got
any...
arrested for taking like a pot shot at a make-believe kid.
He didn't know they were make-believe 100%.
To be fair, yeah, the majority of people
To
did
be
not know
fair,
they were
Haywood
fake.
got out of a car and shot at children.
I know, and I agree. But like he's getting arrested at the ending, and it's kind of like, what did he really do?
He
wrong?
shot at
kids.
children
But
that nobody knew were make-believe.
But they're still not there now. You can't be like, those are the kids.
Yes, but the
Hayward
situation,
shot at.
the
I'll give you that.
situation is he did not know that. Therefore, he legit
But
thought
who's
he was
gonna
shooting
vouch
at
that
kids.
Wanda had
I
kids?
understand your argument. I get it. Like,
We
what
get
lawyer's
you.
going to be? The lawyer's just going to be like, Your Honor, if you look at the videotape, you'll see that those children do not exist. I mean,
Like, is someone in the town like,
who did my client really shoot at?
do you see like the townsfolk? They're running up. Wait! Arrest that man! He shot at kids that don't exist. Like, who did that? Who?
So he'll probably get out and be in the next season. Wait, they didn't. You're not in prison for what?
Now, if they ever get to that, they'll just be like, "You're in prison because you provoked the situation."
That's
because
probably,
technically
yeah.
he is the reason why
Yeah,
it
yeah,
expanded
yeah.
and like. Yeah.
See, Chad's running with it. They're like, oh, Hayward was arrested for breaking the Accords. The Accords have been so loosey-goosey since like that's gonna be.
I'm gonna need to see the actual Accords to make that.
That's it.
clap.
Everyone's like, oh, it's the Accords. It's the Accords. You weren't supposed to bring Vision back online. Were you or weren't you? I mean,
Well, technically speaking, the Sword is a U.S. government.
right. And they, like, I'm
entity.
sure he's done something that they're gonna catch him for.
Yeah,
I'm not-
right, it's fine.
It's still
He shot
funny
at
though because like he
make-believe
gets to the end of
children.
and they show them hauling him off, and I'm just like, what did he really do? Like,
Got arrested for being a dick.
I mean, even turning Vision back online, as far as everyone was concerned, Vision was in the Hex, and then left. So even that, he could just be like, yeah, not.
This is a whole other show, you realize?
Well, yeah, but we got to
this is a
stretch
whole
it out.
other
This is called
topic.
tangents. So, well, no, because
The legal vitality of WandaVision.
you know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should have a whole episode about the legalities of 90% of the Marvel universe.
That is true, yeah.
Do laws ruin comic books?
The time comic books broke the laws. That'll be our
That'll
fun
just be at the beginning. When Superman and Batman first showed up.
But the reason I bring up
Yes.
Hayward is
Yes.
Hayward was another one that a lot of people ran with. There was theories that he was even going to be Ultron at one point.
Yeah, I don't know where you guys got that theory. That theory was stupid.
Only to have Hayward be literally nobody.
He was Hayward.
You know what? I'm going to throw a theory out there just to ruin if anything else happens. Whoever arrested them is actually on Hayward's side, and that was them getting him out of the situation.
I mean, that could
like
be
a
a
and
shield.
it's Mephisto.
Now, I saw like there was some theories that Ultron was embedded in the system and would take over White Vision.
Yes,
that theory
that one
I
I
think
liked.
at least had some. It was at least a valid theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayward secretly being Ultron made no sense to me. I don't know where anyone got that from.
Well,
There wasn't even any like hints about.
Well,
that.
and this is
Right.
and this is why I wanted to bring up Hayward, and we had our fun little Hayward tangent.
Yeah.
Some of the theories that people were really leaning into
Yeah.
didn't make any sense, or
Yeah.
they would completely supplant what WandaVision was going for.
Right,
You mean
yeah.
to tell me that if we got to episode 7 of WandaVision and they like a portal opened up and Doctor Strange walked in, followed by James McAvoy's Professor X.
Oh, how badass would that have been?
And
though?
Patrick Stewart on the other side.
That didn't make any sense,
But it would still be great.
right?
And behind them is Ultron and the Devil.
No. Stay with me here. It's like a whole episode of Maury now. Portal opens, sling ring opens, right?
Yeah.
Strange steps out, McAvoy and Stewart. They have this whole conversation, and then they go, but if that's not enough to convince you, Wanda, here are your fathers. And and Fassbender and McKellen come out. But Ian McKellen is dressed as Gandalf. Now, stay with me. I got nothing. I don't know where I was going with that.
And as Gandalf, he goes, and all of this is happening because of Mephisto.
And then Mephisto comes out.
And he's like, just kidding. This is all a nightmare.
Controlled by Ultron.
And then Hayward comes out as Ultron.
But the point I'm making is, like, if that had all happened, let's say episode 6 or 7,
Okay.
because by the time episode 8 ended and everyone was like, no, it's going to do this, I was like, no, nothing's going to happen in 9 because they have done nothing to set
it
up.
would be really weird if in 9 Ultron showed up or Mephisto showed
Right,
up.
those
Mephisto would have been more
outside of
sense.
post credits.
Outside of post credits,
Because
sure.
post credits would have made it make
yeah,
sense
at the
if
very
like they go
end.
to Hayward and like he turns into Ultron and you're like, oh, it was a thing.
It'd be funny if in the post
wasn't.
credit they had it was Mephisto all along. Just so we're clear, that actually would have worked.
Actually, but they do it with that style of they organized all the names in the credits to have the left letter on all of it be like, haha, it was Mephisto.
all along. Ha 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 ha.
But what I'm saying is, let's say that did happen, 6 or
Okay,
7. All
yes.
the theories did come true at once.
Sure.
All with a sling
That
ring.
was a crazy episode.
Can you believe that post-credit scene,
And then
man?
the X-Men showed up, and then it turned into AVX.
It was weird, man.
At the point of WandaVision would have been gone.
Right.
And I do feel that part of what the point of Disney Plus's shows they've been promoting, they're supposed to be tied to the MCU but standalone.
Well, Kevin Feige has said that he doesn't want any big things to happen in the shows. He wants them to
'cause
happen in the movies.
He wants them to be shows,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
standalone shows. So if these all reveals had happened, then it would have turned into, well, you got to watch WandaVision.
Right,
But
right.
you can watch just episodes 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah, you pretty much skip the first few. And it's fine. There's like one in the middle. It's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
I'm just.
And
I'm not
like that's
specifying.
why it was fun to come up with these theories and talk about these theories and be like, wouldn't this be epic? But none of them legitimately, to me, at any point made sense that we should have gone in that direction, unless that was the point. Because I feel like if that was the point, they would have been right out of the gate. Been,
Right. The only ones that made sense to me would have been like the Mephisto, or if it turned out that Evan Peters was the multiverse version of Quicksilver, and like Agatha had pulled him from the multiverse.
Right.
Sure, I could get it. But yeah, when it came to like Ultron and things like that, I was like, I don't understand where you guys are getting these and what would even be the point of that in the show? Like, why would the big movie villain come back in
the show,
WandaVision?
right.
It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. Yeah.
And also, I think people also are forgetting because like WandaVision's ruined. WandaVision can still be a great standalone thing, and Marvel has done this. The Mandarin was revealed to actually be real
Yes, yeah.
in additional footage.
Yeah.
And literally all they would have to do is be like, Ralph Boner, ha ha ha. But Ralph is actually
It
Quicksilver.
was Mephisto all along.
Like Disney could still lean into this and be like, that was it. That was the whole point.
Right.
And then he shows back up with the X-Men.
And it's like, oh yeah, my mind was all messed
Yeah,
with, and they told me my name was Ralph Boner. Like,
Which at
wasn't even a
first
good
I was
joke.
like, that's
So
stupid,
yes.
but I'm kind of down for it.
Well, and that's what I feel like Disney could be like. At first,
Yeah,
it was
true.
this was going to be a fun thing, and then Disney goes, "Oh, you guys all thought that'd be like that's not a terrible idea."
yeah.
And to me, it's almost like when we make our D&D campaigns, and someone's like, "You know, it'd be cool, Andy," and you go, "Yeah, next week I'm going to make some alterations."
Yeah, write that down.
So I think talking about this real quick of like the theories, I just realized something. Did we ever actually get the aerospace engineer?
No, he never showed up, or they never showed up, or
Okay, because I was just thinking that I'm like, we had all these theories for that, but they just dropped it.
But see,
like,
once again, what would be the point of introducing Reed Richards in WandaVision?
no, I get that, but that it in the same regard, what's the point of hinting at the potential of it?
I mean, but
Well,
they
but here's-
didn't. They didn't. She just goes, "Oh, I'll probably have to call this aerospace engineer I know."
and that's it.
That was it. It was just something she said.
They didn't
Yeah.
keep.
That's fair.
It's funny because right now there's a meme floating around where there shows a clip of Falcon.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, and he's like, "That's a thing we got to do." And then like the tie-ins in the meme is thing is confirmed, and it shows like the fantastic four.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was you or saw it or somebody linked it to me.
Yeah.
but that's exactly what that was. She
It
said
was
an
just-
aerospace
she just said it,
engineer.
yeah, and everyone latched onto it hard.
It's
Just like
it's
when
cool.
anyone would say a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a nightmare going on in there. Nightmare is here. Like
Nightmare
everyone latched
confirmed.
onto
Everybody
that.
calm down. Nightmare is confirmed.
Guys, they said it. They did it. It's all,
Yeah, I mean,
they're here.
He's
But I think,
definitely in universe.
Actually, that's in that regard, that's a great example of theories ruining it because little things that mean nothing become this theory that raise your expectations for me to come up with even just simply the question of, did we ever get that?
Yeah.
And so what this brings to the ultimate question of, and I want to talk more about theories and how they've ruined other shows, such as Game of Thrones, and that's the other big one I could think of where everyone just had 1,001 theories what was going to happen.
Star
And then
Wars.
certain people like Gendry just went rowing into the ocean for 5 years, but
And then showed back up.
that was the worst part. Did he
No,
really?
no. He didn't row. He went rowing for 5 years, but then he showed back up in King's Landing, and they were like, "Nobody even thought to look for me here." I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I get it.
He's like, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I disappeared. Dan's like, I didn't watch King of Thrones.
I did not watch King of Thrones. I
Alright,
watched
so
the first 3
Game of Thrones.
episodes.
it was like a game,
Or
right,
even Last
of
Jedi.
Thrones.
So
Last
it's like
Jedi
musical
is another
chairs,
example.
but it was thrones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Musical
Yeah.
Last Jedi is another example of the fandoms ruining things because we went from the first one and everyone's like, Rey's dad is Luke, and then we get Ryan Johnson who's like, everything you guys think is happening, I'm doing the exact opposite of intentionally.
I'm pretty sure Ryan Johnson went and looked at the theories and based his script on the opposite.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened,
yeah.
and that's why I wanted to talk about this. Do fan theories ruin expectations, and
That's
do
what
they
it
change
is.
the directions that these things are going in?
I would say no, they don't. They don't change the direction because most of the time scripts are written far before anyone starts making a theory.
But then
Unless
we
the
found-
script writer is petty.
That is true.
But then we find out
That
things
is
like
super-
Star
I'm just
Wars.
gonna go and change
they
that.
didn't write anything past
That
the
is
first
true.
one.
Yeah.
So Ryan Johnson could easily go, not Ray's not with Luke.
I mean, if you're like me, I don't really pay attention to theories. I might look at them after I've seen something, be like, oh, what is it?
Yeah.
Because like WandaVision, I didn't look at any of the theories until after I would see an episode.
I did the same thing. I also stayed off Twitter all morning.
Yeah. But I definitely feel if you let yourself get too bogged down in the theories, it can ruin it for you. It ruins your expectations get too high because you're like, oh yeah, this is it. Mephisto, Ultron, Luke Skywalker's gonna show up with old green and just start cleaving people in half. Although that would have been better.
As the Mandalorian proved.
As Mandalorian proved. It can, I think, ruin your expectations if you let it, is the thing. Now, I don't get too bogged down in the theories, and for me, the thing I watch, I take that as
I take it for
its own individual thing.
I've always done that exact same thing.
I don't let
take
my
it for face
expectations.
value,
Yeah, I don't let my
and
expectations
I
get too
try
much.
not to look into theories or go into too much stuff without looking at. It always reminds me of the power scaling argument. Theories.
You love bringing that
no,
argument.
because
I don't
it
even know
works
how
in-
that works in this
Well, 'cause
argument.
Power scaling is fun to have a fun debate about.
Okay,
But when
alright.
people take it too seriously, it becomes ruined because now everyone's like, here's the nitty gritty rules. And you're like, I just wanted to talk about why Superman and Hulk are fighting. You know?
Right.
Fan theories are the exact same way. It's so much fun to go, wouldn't it be cool if Hayward is Ultron? And you go, how would that work? And I'm like, dude, so I'm going to blow your mind.
And then 30 minutes later, I go, no, it wouldn't work.
But it's the same concept. But it's different when I go, Hayward should have been Ultron.
Right, when you get angry about it.
Right, and now we're arguing about it as opposed to just having a fun fan discussion about it. That's
no,
the
I
reason
can
brought it up.
admit
We're not
when
going
I
into
read
it.
when I read a theory and I go, actually, yeah, that probably would have been better. I can admit that, but you know, for usually I just take things for what they are.
Yeah, because I mean,
I liked WandaVision. I thought
like
it was
you
fantastic.
said, theories are fun. Like they're fun when you take them as just this would be a cool thing to happen. But when, like you were saying, like when you get angry that they did not do your theory, then you're just ruining it for everyone, because then you start getting
mostly
everyone
yourself.
else going, well, no, because then you start getting like the domino effect of, no, because your theory's stupid. My theory's way better. And then it starts this whole debate of which theory's the better one that would have been the better thing.
Well,
it's like, no.
We should have a theory battle
theories.
rumble.
Well, it also turns into our content.
Theory Royale.
It almost turns into our continuity discussion from last week, where eventually there's so many theories, people start picking and choosing which ones are the right ones.
Yes.
And that's
What I'm going to do is I'm going to compile a list of the next theories that make up Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'll be like, this should be the run of the show.
and if you
Just
get it
every
right,
episode is a theory to try to get it right.
There you go.
It's like theory boggle.
Now, WandaVision and Game of Thrones.
idea.
Game of Thrones is notorious for what actually happened in the final season, but regardless of how poorly it was overall
Now,
handled.
the only thing I will say about Game of Thrones is, at least with like WandaVision, you had comics to base your theory
Yes.
off of.
Yes.
You can go look at the history of Wanda, the history of Vision, of Tommy and Billy, you know, when Wanda went friggin' nuts in the comics, and you could be like, okay, if they're going to follow this, there's a possibility that Mephisto's going to show up, and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. Here's blah, blah, blah. With Game of Thrones, everybody was just like, this is how it should have happened.
What I loved about that one was even George R. R. Martin
I saw
saying, like,
He's like, my book's pretty much going to end roughly the same
they
way,
took all my
guys."
notes.
Yeah,
It's
like,
the
give
same
it
thing.
to him, yeah. There's going to be some changes because some people are alive in the books that aren't in the show. But, and some people are dead in the books that are not in the show.
yeah. But so like Game of Thrones is, you know, it's notorious what kind of happened where they crunched it down because they wanted to do the Star Wars project and all that other stuff. And in
didn't work
WandaVision, you're right, we have the comic books to work off of. But the topic I wanted to move it over was the Star Wars one. Because
Right.
what we generally know has happened is they didn't really have a plan.
No.
J.J. Abrams showed up, did his first movie, and laid an outline.
And then it was like, later.
Ryan Johnson came in and said, I'm going to take all the theories, do the exact opposite because I want to...
Subvert
That was it.
fan expectation.
That was his wording on it. So Rey was a nobody.
Which is a really stupid
Ben
thing
Solo
to say.
was a nobody. Nobody mattered.
No, he was a somebody. He was a solo.
Yeah, but there's still, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody mattered is what they were going
It's
for.
literally in the
That's like
name.
a big thing.
But he was a solo guy. Oh.
No, that's stupid. Don't say
okay.
that. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, and then he subverted everyone. That is probably the most divisive movie in the Star Wars franchise.
Which is saying something. Have you seen the prequels?
Well, because you got a lot of people like, no, it was great that he did that, and then some people being like, no, he
generally
shouldn't
do
have
too,
done
yeah.
that. And for the record, my personal argument is, I loved what he did. I don't think it should have been 8 in a 9-movie series.
I liked half of his movie. That's how I always say. When anybody asked me about Last Jedi, I was like, I like half of it.
Yeah,
I didn't even
But
see
then
it.
But then we get to the J.J. Abrams returned, and then led into all the fan theories.
Yeah.
Right.
Made some of their own. Like everybody's was right. That's why the movie was like 3 hours long. And the
Everybody
first
was
45
right.
minutes was just running to every other planet.
He actually just tweets out 3 different theories. Which one's got most likes? All right,
I
well,
do
yours
like
on this one.
I do like on the last movie, the first 45 minutes was like, no. Here was my movie 8. That's basically what
Pretty
that
much
was.
what they did, yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to
It
watch
was a
Last
very
Jedi.
fast-paced 45 minutes. Like, whoa, what are we doing? Okay, we're settling down. All right. all right.
So taking that, movies obviously had more runway to work with, where they could take fan theories
Yeah,
and subvert them or run with them.
Yeah.
WandaVision was already filmed by the time they started
Right.
coming out, so
That is true, yeah.
they weren't going to change anything.
Even the creator was like, guys, you are not going to like our ending.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they came
Yeah.
out with that, and he was like, "Oh, this is awkward."
That leads me to the question of
It's awkward.
which is better, because we have an example of them doing the fan theories.
Right.
Is the way Star Wars did it better, or WandaVision better, where they just we did it and you can have fun, but it's going to end, and we've already filmed it.
Feige's like, do another episode.
Episode 10.
Had Mephisto. Well, originally there was a 10th episode, apparently.
No, it's coming out this week.
No, there was an actual 10th episode. They cut one of them into 2.
Oh,
Or
okay.
they cut 2 of them into 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the original plan was 10
because the behind the
episodes.
scenes things this week.
Yeah.
So what do you think did it better? And we'll let Dan go first because I feel like he hasn't spoken a lot this episode.
WandaVision. I think when you ignore the fan theories and you get the story you want to do, it is better, because the problem with when you start taking other people's ideas into your own is you start to lose track of some potential plot holes that might be there because you did not start off with that in mind, or you did not move in the direction naturally to make it actually work. Plus, you also run into the thing of there are so many fan theories out there. Which ones do you pick? Which fans do you piss off because you didn't choose their
That's
fan?
the one you pick.
Exactly.
You always choose Mephisto.
Like they go Mephisto or Nightmare. These are our options.
He should have
We're
showed up
pissed
in
off.
Star Wars.
There's Mephisto all along. No, I think it's better when a story is told the way it was intended to be told. And it is not affected by someone being petty and not want to do the fan theories, or someone wanting to tailor to the fans and making it go, okay, well, these are the people that we know are watching our stuff, so let's just make them happy. Like, I feel like that just, it takes away and makes the story more hollow. So
I agree.
We got to fill like 4 more minutes.
Okay, so what I mean is when I say I agree is I
concur.
because Ryan Johnson has come out and said like what I wanted to do was subvert fan expectations and basically make a movie that people weren't expecting. But he basically said like, I want to make a movie that pisses off the fans. That's kind of how he worded it.
Right.
Which I also think is a terrible idea. Like, to me, you should just write a good movie. You shouldn't worry about what anyone else is going to think. You should write the story you want to write and then film it. And that's it. Whether you know, if you think it's a good story or not, I mean, you should write the story that you think is the good story. Is the story you want to tell, not worry about what everybody else is going to think. So in that sense, I do agree. So yeah, because I don't, like I said, I liked half of Last Jedi, but I also, while I enjoyed, what was the last one called? Rise of Skywalker. While I enjoyed it, I do think they lean too hard into, we got to please everybody real fast.
Yeah. Because they try to lean into
everything. Yeah. So
I don't even think Last Jedi is a terrible idea, but I feel like if we're doing a 9-movie series, I feel like Last Jedi would have fit great in 4 or 5. Where you're like, oh my god, and then we have time to flesh out a whole. Because what Ryan Johnson did is threw everything out,
and then wasn't coming back for the next movie.
It's just it makes it even worse. If he was coming back for 9, and okay, I have a plan for these 2.
Like if he was doing 3 movies and it worked it out, okay.
You know, he was actually like, you know what? I'm gonna piss off the fans and make it so hard for the next guys dealing with this.
See you later.
And then J.J. Abrams is like, you think you made it hard? I could do a whole movie in 45 minutes. Watch it.
Well, originally it wasn't J.J. Abrams though. It was Colin Trevorrow or whatever that guy's name is.
I could see that memo he gets. All right, so you ready to come in for your episode 9? No, did you see what Ryan did?
I'm out.
It actually started long ago at a party where that guy had taken the last hamburger at the party, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get you one day."
I have no idea.
Years and years later, he's like,
Star Wars was his return,
his revenge.
Yeah, revenge. There you go.
I got back at him.
I wasn't sure where you were going with the hamburger.
We both went to college that one year.
Exactly, you stole my girl.
But yeah, so that, I mean, I agree. I think you should tell a good story, and you should tell the story you want to tell. I don't think you should worry about fan theories one way or the other.
Last question then. Okay, related to this, and it is related directly to WandaVision.
Okay.
Using Evan Peters.
Yes, as Boner.
Sure. No one in the Disney studio was like, this will be a fun thing that no one will ever connect to the X-Men.
Yeah, like I said, they came out and said that like they just thought it would be a fun like little Easter egg like that did not pan out for them at all. But yeah, I would have been like, you don't think maybe some people might be a little pissed off?
I mean, because when they filmed WandaVision, they already bought Fox.
Yeah, they had Fox. Yeah.
So this isn't even like it's not gonna work, and then Fox is bought, and then we already did the joke. You know? So. I almost feel like that wasn't like they say they just did it as a fun little thing, which I agree, but I think it was a fun little thing with an intention of trolling the fans.
Oh, that's possible too.
If
That's what I would
do.
do.
You think that they should have not done that and just gotten a random guy to be Ralph?
No, I think it was
No.
more fun to have Evan Peters, honestly.
I think
And they can retcon it.
yeah.
They could have him as Quicksilver and been like, oh, no, that woman wiped my mind or something, made me
Right.
think I was Ralph Boner. And he really is Quicksilver from the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
Or Fox's X-Men universe.
Right.
I mean, you very easily could retcon it. Because originally, Wanda's whole origin story was different, and they retconned it for WandaVision.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a whole episode.
That was,
So I mean, you could very easily retcon that so Evan Peters is Quicksilver.
And
It
if you
wouldn't
know the
have-
could books, Wanda's been retconned like 5 times.
She's not even
That's
technically a
an
mutant
understatement.
right now.
No, she's an actual witch now.
Yeah.
They're like, well, the movies are going to do that. So let's do that
screw
too.
it. Yeah, why not? No, I think it actually worked better with using him because it kind of made the recasting of it just like a little bit more fun, where it was they recast it with the person that they had that Fox essentially.
Well, that's the thing too.
recast it
If
with.
they had
like
recast it with some random guy, there wouldn't have been a what moment at all.
Exactly. There would
and they
be
would have
no
been, if she
surprise
was
to
just
it or
like
anything.
Pietro, you'd be like, Pietro, what are you talking about? That doesn't even look like Aaron Taylor. What
Yeah.
Well, but I think that would have played more into what they wanted, which was for you to think that Wanda could see anyone as her brother, which is what they claimed they were doing with that.
Right, but
See-
but as the viewer, it works better with Evan Peters.
yeah.
It wouldn't have worked for the view. I understand in universe it wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
But for the viewer, it wouldn't have worked as well.
I also think it could have been intended as a red herring to get your, because it made you originally kind of forget about Agatha for a little bit.
Right, yeah,
Because your intention was, wait, who is this Quicksilver? Like,
so
why
is he
are
really?
they like this?
Why does he seem to know what's going
Exactly.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Mephisto.
Mephisto? Or, I mean, for all we know, like when she pulled off the talisman or whatever, maybe that's what activated a spell that made him think he was Ralph Boner.
Possible.
Because everyone keeps
'Cause
focusing
you didn't
on
see him after
being
that
there.
either, after she ripped off the
Exactly. You
necklace.
just
No, he
see
just went,
the
boner.
removal.
No, you didn't see that. She ripped off the necklace after that, and that's it. That was the last time you saw him. Because he was like, I think he said something like, "You're turning me on," and then that's it. And then suddenly Monica was saving the kids.
Oh, no, he does
like
go,
that.
oh my God. That's pretty much all he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, but that was it. And you
Yeah.
don't see him after that.
That's true.
Maybe he Quicksilvered away. No, nothing. Okay.
I think at this point, though, if we do get any other actors from another universe, like when we got J.K. Rowling,
Hugh Jackman.
like Hugh Jackman
Wait,
shows up.
That would be awesome.
sorry,
Not J.K. Rowling. Who's the guy that played
J.K. Simmons.
Simmons. I would say
J.K. Rowling. I was like,
That's
the
the-
writer of Harry Potter showed up. Where was I?
What movie? are you
Yeah,
talking
and who
about
was
right
she
now?
supposed to be?
Wanda. No.
That would have been it. She shows up to explain magic to us.
And there's a school.
Here's your problem. You forgot your stick.
Wand.
Wand. Sorry. Well, see, I thought you were Wanda. You need your wand.
But I do think that, like, okay, so we had J.K. Simmons, and
Yes.
then we had Evan Peters.
Yes.
So when Hugh Jackman does show up as
Oh,
some
God.
random S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, please don't have the entire Twitterverse blow up and be
No,
like,
you know what should happen.
what?
So, all right, stay with me
Because I've got an
here.
idea.
so
of
we're
how to
starting
bring
the
that in.
series?
Stay
Yep,
with
I want to
me
hear
here.
it.
Okay.
This
I got
isn't
one.
even a theory. Somebody should be paying attention and do this. So MCU is going to have, eventually going to have their own X-Men, the mutants. Wolverine is going to show up. Whoever they're going to get to be him, I don't know. But obviously Wolverine will appear at some point.
Right.
Then you eventually get to do Battleworld. Hugh Jackman comes in as Old Man Logan.
Ooh, there we go.
He doesn't even be in
But
super
he
shape
won't
at that
actually
point.
be Old Man Logan. He'll just be an old man in a suit with
yeah,
no claws.
that looks like Logan. And his name will be Steve Bonner. The Ralph Boner should just be their red herring character. And there should be so many people named Ralph Boner
You know,
at this point.
every time we bring someone in from the Fox's X-Men universe,
You give
their
them a
last
name,
name is Boner.
It's the Boner family.
exactly.
And on that note, we're going to end this episode of Comics Experiment on the Boner family note.
Yep. That's a good place to stop.
Yeah, definitely is.
Gotta
Don't
end
forget
on
to
the
check
boner.
out G Fuel by going to the G Fuel website and putting your order in and using the code comics at checkout to get some money off.
To save
some amount of
to
money.
save currency, use code comics.
It's 10 to
at checkout.
30%, according to Andy, maybe free, but you'll know when you
It's
go pick out.
anywhere from full price to free, or somewhere in between.
So use the code comics at checkout with your order of G Fuel.
You'll only find
Be
out
a
how
member
much
of the
it is.
Boner family by drinking G Fuel. They strike me as G Fuel kinds of guys.
They do, yeah.
I mean, to be that quick, you need the good energy of G
yeah.
Fuel.
That's what it was. It wasn't actually Quicksilver. He was just a G Fuel
He
fanatic.
was just hyped up on sugar and caffeine.
It would have been great if in the background there's just a pile of like energy drink cans.
How do you think I get my powers?
And don't forget, if you want to keep this show going, please consider going over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you too can vote on the discussions we have here. You can also vote on the videos coming out. You guys voted on the Vision storyline. You have already won the vote for Batman Inc., and at the moment we're doing a vote on which Winter Soldier story we're going to be covering.
It should be Winter Soldier.
Well, surprisingly, it is. And you can check out our new channel where we talk more about shows like WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Superman, Flash, and pretty much anything that has the name superhero on it or words that superhero is said at any point in the promotional material.
They've never said superhero and Flash.
I think most of them, they don't actually say the words superhero.
Right, but you are a superhero if you've gone over to absolutely Marvel and DC and
that's
subscribe to our
That's-
new
that's
channel.
nice. That's nice.
That was pretty good.
It's good. I
right,
feel like I
guys.
set you up for that.
Yeah. We might not be back next week, depending on I'm in the middle of a move, and it officially happens on film day. I didn't play that. See you next time.